Hello everyone! Today in round 8 of the World Championship title match between Ding and Gukesh, happened a lot of interesting and exciting stuff, so the recap definitely going to be fun. Before we jump to the game, real quick information about the Chessify platform. You can use their tools to get better in chess using databases, cloud engines, and so on. So you can use promo code MESHKOVS20 to get a 20% discount for the first purchase, and feel free to check the referral link in the description. Let's go. Let's have a look at what happened in the game. So today, Ding one more time played with white, and one more time he changed his approach and played c4. It was sort of unexpected for anyone except his opponent and his opponent's team, because it seemed that they were extremely prepared. So after move knight c3, Gukesh pulled off this trendy option bishop b4. The main point is that maybe you want to capture on c3, and then white's pawn structure is a little bit weakened. So for that reason, Ding plays knight d5, hitting the bishop, and previously Gukesh played a5 only. At least that was his latest game. But in this game, he played relatively sideline, if I'm not mistaken, the second popular move, bishop e7. So after quite a thing, world champion plays knight f3, but I followed the live game, and it seemed that already at this point Ding was completely out of his prep, because his body language pretty much was just saying that, okay, we did not expect this turn of things, so I need to create something right here and right now. So he plays knight f3, okay, a very decent option. Black just stabilized in the center, and white plays g3. So in this case, of course, this knight gets chased from the center with c6, and after capturing on e7, white gets bishop pair advantage. So this is sort of typical Ding. He wants to avoid the very, very mainline theory, and he all the time changes his approaches. And his main point is, okay, I'm not going to get an advantage out of the opening, but at the very least, I'm going to offbeat you, and then on equal terms, maybe, I can get some, I can generate something in a game. So having with white, I'm still a little bit better. So in this game, he sort of try to use his bishop pair advantage. So yeah, in the next phase of the game, both players simply developed his pieces, but worth mentioning that Gukesh played this quite an interesting and rare but strong approach f6. So the point is that Black supports the center and either plays d5 immediately or plays c5 and then d5, opting for some sort of reversed Maratsi structure. Anyways, it seems like a very rock-solid approach from the black side, and at the same time a great surprise. So yeah, the challenger was blitzing out moves up until here, so we can say for sure that he knew this position and this idea with f6. And once again, Gukesh out-prepares his opponent. So short castle, bishop e6, b3, and after d5, Gukesh one more time in this match plays bishop a3. Previously in round number 4, if I'm not mistaken, he also played bishop a3, but with another idea to prevent black's development. So in this case, he just wants to sacrifice this pawn, but open up the position a little bit and gain some activity thanks to the bishop pair. After a short castle, he defends the pawn. Gukesh, at the same time, he works on his development and just plays a5, knight a6. But Ding sort of uses this bird opening and undermines the center from both wings, which is quite a composure, I would say, because not often you see such a structure, and at least optically it looks very cool. As a chess fan, I was literally very much impressed and happy of the beginning of the game, because it seemed to be like an insane and complicated beginning of a huge fight, and that's how it was indeed. So after ef4, Ding smashes that pawn with rook, and after dc4, Gukesh decided to neutralize the tension in the center, just takes, and it makes a lot of sense, to be honest, because having this structure with small pawn chains on both wings, it stops all the activity of the bishop, at the very least, from g2, and well, we can say that bishop on a3 is not very much useful, at least at the moment. And also the follow-up was knight g6, so he is chasing the rook away, and Ding sort of plays very creative chess, and he keeps his rook in the center. Well, not often you see such a unique position and complicated fight. I think that also worth mentioning that today there is not a single reason to use any of chess engine advices and give you any of Stockfish evaluations, because you just have to watch the game and enjoy the process, because it was extremely creative. So after knight a6, finally Ding also tries to bring the knight into the game, and queen c7 was a move that probably was not so much to the point, but okay. Knight comes to the very center of the board, and the bishop sidesteps back. So Ding stabilizes in the center, and black plays knight e5. At this point, it seemed that white should have get a little bit of an advantage, let's say after queen d2, and then either place your rook on b1, maybe on f1, depending on what you want to do. Then maybe knight f5, playing against the king, or knight b3 and attacking that a5 pawn. Pretty much all the options are in the air, and just feel free to choose the any plan depending on your style. But yeah, I have feeling that Ding is sort of overthinking in some moments. He spends a lot of time, and also he's not confident enough, and for whatever reason, but he has chosen to go back with a knight. Although, as one of my first coaches told me, if there is no reason to retreat with a piece from the center, then better not to do that. So I guess we can use this rule in this particular case. And so here Gukesh also did not play in the most precise way. He could have tried like bishop g6, or this seems to be like the most natural approach, but he also sidesteps backs. And in this case, it felt that the ball is somewhere in the middle of the field, and no one can really take any advantage and create sort of any attack. And after white captures on e8, rook takes e8, it felt that, okay, probably they're going to keep this position alive where no one can really advance. But exactly in this moment, Ding plays rook b1, and this is a crucial mistake because he thought that with rook b1 he stops this b5 idea, but that's exactly what happened in the game. And pretty much after b5, the move what he missed was queen b6 with the double attack, a very important intermezzo. And after queen b6, you have to make a move with a king, and black captures on b5. So the big problem here is that both pawns are rolling down, maybe not immediately, but this is one problem. Another problem is that pawn on a2 is hanging, and there's no good way how to stop it. And third problem is that king also is quite vulnerable on f1, so some squares are available for the knight, let's say. So all in all, it looks really, really bad. And I did not even mention the time situation. And Ding was literally half an hour down at this point. So I guess all the commentators, they were shocked. And I saw some of the tweets that most likely if Ding survives in this game, it's going to be a miracle. And let's have a look what happened next. So one more time, Ding, he always, when he's in trouble, he looks for a counterplay, and this game was not the other way. So he used exactly the same pattern, not an exception at all. And after he just sacrificed this pawn on a2, and after bishop takes a2, he goes bishop d4. So this is probably the most important strength of the current world champion, because every single time when he's in a deep trouble, he looks for an activity, and in most of the cases he survives. So let's keep going. Here apparently knight d to c5 was the most precise move, but I'll not even provide any computer lines. This position is just crazy. Like, to understand what's going on and figure out what is the most precise path to converting this advantage, you need to invest a lot of time, and neither Gukesh or Ding had that amount of time. And also worth mentioning that at this point, Ding's play is just flawless, almost flawless. So they make a lot of mistakes according to the engine. But yeah, Ding defends like a god, basically, because he finds all the best moves, like queen e1, queen f2. That was something that Gukesh missed. He told that on the press conference after the game. And after rook c8, one more time, like bishop e3 is the strongest move, creating a threat of playing d4 and using this pin. So basically, rook c7 is the only move, and at this point, believe me or not, but white was already much better, even though still both pawns are it's just 2 against 0, and if you give a little bit of a time, then black should just roll those pawns down on the board and win the game. But he has no time, and the move that was pretty much impossible to find, having only like 10 minutes or something, a move knight e1, with the idea to take control over the e4 square, and once again you want to play d4 attacking the knight, and then play d5 with a double attack hitting the bishop and the queen, and also rook on c7 is hanging in the air. Whatever, just completely unreal for a human being. and Ding is a human being, even though a world champion. Not a single chance. So he makes a completely normal move like knight d4. I guess almost any grandmaster in such a situation would consider something like this. Gukesh goes back, and knight c6 happened on the board. So I think that maybe, yeah, I mean, they just try to play for the activity, for the initiative, and Gukesh has no choice. He has to take on c6, and this leads to a position where basically still nothing is clear at all, because still these two pawns are the same place, and it could be a huge trouble in any ending if queens are traded, for instance. So white has to be careful at any moment, and yeah, black just plays h6, creates a luft for the king. Ding also looks for relatively safe space for his king, and he already was on g1, so now he tries to run back and, you know, find a better castle for the king. Yeah, Gukesh just pushes his pawn down the board. White plays queen d4, and okay, this was quite a mistake, because now black can play knight e5. That's what Gukesh done, and yeah, even optically we can say that black's position is sort of very solid. King safety is much more better than white's king safety, and yeah, obviously these two pawns, and also a lot of simple ideas like queen g2, queen h1, collecting these two pawns. Maybe in some universe also kingside pawns could round down the board. So it's actually not easy to play at all with white, especially as players still did not reach move 40, which means that both players were in a time scramble. And here comes the beautiful moment, because Ding plays king d2, and Gukesh immediately creates a threat of knight f3 by playing queen g2. So to prevent this threat, you have to go queen f2. Gukesh goes back. Ding goes back. It's move 39. And Gukesh goes back one more time. Queen f2 happens already second time in a row. Queen d5 happens once again. Queen d4 is Ding's move number 41. He gets half an hour. He leaves their playing venue and gets a little bit of a rest after such an emotional roller coaster. So all the commentators, all the spectators were following the game, and you know, it's a sort of dilemma. Do you want to go queen g2 in such a moment and repeat position? Pretty much this is immediately a threefold repetition, and you fix the result, draw with black, tomorrow you play with white, should be fine. Or you do something else. Not an easy task. Almost all the commentators said, of course, yes. Well, just try not to get any heart attack at this moment. It was enough. It's enough for everyone. Everyone except Gukesh. And once again, already for second time in this match, he avoids making a draw with black, by the way. Second time in a row. And he plays queen a2. So in a post-game interview, he mentioned that first of all, he didn't know that he's worse. He thought that he can still play on and sort of see what happens. And actually it makes sense. So I completely understand his point, especially as he sees that Ding is somewhat shaky and is not confident as he could be. So after rook c2, he goes back, but he sort of claims that even if you take one of the pawns, that's what happened in the game, I can play b3. Probably you sidestep with the rook somewhere, and having such a tremendous control and stable formation of minor pieces defending b3 pawn, queen also could go to h3, maybe collect h3 h2 pawn, and why should black even repeat the position in this case? Fair enough. And Ding plays rook c1, so instead of queen h3, he plays queen d5, creating another trap of pushing b3 pawn one step further, forcing white to move the rook to b1, and then knight c4 wins the game. So for that reason, world champion played queen b4. Once again, we see this queen g2 motif, and this was the moment when Ding understood that, okay, it's enough. Let's just trade queens. I know I'm not going to win the game, but at the very least, now it's a forced draw, because after b2, I have to go to rook b1, and bishop a2 leads to trade of knight for a rook. So, and after king b2, they agreed to a draw. That was round 8. An insane emotional roller coaster. It could be anyone's game in the end. It's a true way how it happens in sports. It was a draw, and every next game becomes even more and more interesting. So, looking forward to see what happened next. Thank you very much for your attention, and see you tomorrow.